Now,
Can you
this is
record?
Jim Fetzer, your host on a Real Deal special, once again with Luke McKee, who's one of the exposers of pedophile rings worldwide and achieving a certain degree of success, I'm glad to say. Luke has information that not only ties into current activities in the state of Arizona, but even to the Epstein case and thereby indirectly to Donald J. Trump. Luke, give us your latest.
Okay, well, we're going to do a three-pronged attack right now. Um, what I'm talking about is very scary and affects the freedom and liberty of all Americans. Um, the constitutional protections of the Fifth and Sixth Amendments and the right to habeas corpus from the Magna Carta, the first laws ever made in England, has been suspended. If you are an enemy of the state and you know of an Epstein 2.0 level of government cover-up of child abuse and police doing murder for attempted murder for hire on order of a convicted pedophile, um, crazy stuff's happening. I've lost my two main Twitter accounts for the crime of asking people to go to a government case law website, which I'm going to pull up on the tabs on the screen now. Where is it? Let's see. Public case lookup. Okay, this is a government website, apps.azcourts.gov/public access. If you have Joshua Steinlage as your lawyer and you have a Jewish surname and you're a confirmed Jew, Howard Leventhal, and you are running a chain of taxpayer-funded Indian preschools with money from HHS, Head Start program, and you're a top government leader and you plead guilty to raping a children, the penalty is no jail, instant probation for sex with children. And that is and he got this government grant to run a chain of preschools after being a convicted drug lord. So I just keep saying it again and again that certain people can be drug lords and high-level government officials. If I go to my main Twitter, and the ZB951 visa, and the head of the ABC in Australia, who was recently involved in a high-profile court case of which they lost, where pro-Palestine people were censored from fired from the state broadcaster because they shared content from Human Rights Watch by on order from an unregistered foreign interfering illegal organization, Lawyers for Israel. So if I search my account, end the ZB951 visa and drug lords, the head of the ABC at the time is a mother of a from in front. Yeah, it's shadow banned. But if you look up Australian drug lords episode 1, narrated by Gary Sweet, the chair of the ABC, Ida Buttrow's son, was a massive drugs dealer. So, and all the drug deals were run out of her house. So you literally have Jewish crime lord drug dealer families running the state broadcast in Australia until she's since quit her position after the tragedy that was the Federal Magistrates Court case in Australia recently. But let's go on topic. So on my Twitter account, this is my backup one I'm using. Uh, I have basically picked a fight with the government, and I've just had been told my Google account's going to be censored because if you're against state-sponsored child abuse rings, you're not allowed to use Google. And technically, the U.S. Congress definition of anti-Semitism is if you can expose that people in society of a minority race can get away with things other people can't do, such as rape children and get no jail, get cops who murder for hire for them. Um, yeah. And the other huge thing is the judge that got the pedophile no jail is now a judge, and the victim of said pedophile who just flicked off his glasses didn't even flick them off. I think he took his glasses off to look him in the eyes and put on the table. The next day, he had three police officers discharging three taser cartridges into him. which, without identifying themselves. And he's only charged with delay or resistone murder. So an experience I went through in America when a police officer, Christopher Kent Bowersox, had a crack at me twice. And that police officer is now a convicted child abuser. Here he is here. This is Christopher Kent Bowersox, the cop who tried to kill me, a pedophile. And here is his handwriting on Luke McKee, Luke Ledged. And what's the charge? You got Bowersox's handwriting there. There's the Bowersox. And yeah, what's the charge? 148A1, delay or resist on murder. It says delay or resist on there. And obviously I won the case. So yeah. So let's get to my email and let's see what's going on. Okay, so your account's been disabled. Let's start with something really simple, and before we get into America, something we can cover very quickly. Recently in Australia, there's been a whole spate of anti-Semitic false flag terror attacks in order to get new laws passed that protect pedophiles. So this is my submission to Parliament of Australia, which they acknowledge on the phone they accepted, but they don't want to send me an acknowledgement email because then they'll have to give that to the politicians. This is the level of cover-up we're dealing with here. And my Google account's still working for them. This tweet here, until I made noise about the shadow ban, could not, every time you shared this tweet, it would not appear in anyone's timelines, and I could only actually see this tweet until I made noise about the shadow ban. And this is government documents that say cults that have a doctrine of child sexual abuse cannot sue people for hate speech. It's the Victorian Vilification Law Handbook, first and second edition, that they've taken off their website by Karen Turi, acting commissioner. And so this document says, that lawful sexual activity is a protected attribute. If your cult does unlawful sexual activity, such as what the Talmud commands in Shabbat 133b, that any moil or rabbi that does not orally suck the blood from the wound of a baby's penis into their mouth, they must be relieved of duty. And that's in the Babylonian Talmud on official website, safari.org. In fact, let's have a look at it, shall we? Okay, so here's my tweet about there's the Talmud, okay, right there. And there's no fake screenshots. Safari.org will tell you. We learned that one sucks the blood from the wound after the circumcision. A craftsman who does not suck the baby penis blood after every circumcision is a danger to the child. Now, this is just 4th century medical advice, but there's also a Kabbalah mandate for it and a Zohar mandate for it. And Rebbe Lubavitch has made a mandate for it. Yeah, and so you can't burn the Bible or the Quran. And under Australian child abuse material laws, any book that mandates or glorifies or loves the rape of children is contraband, and people who possess it must be arrested. And the second highest court in America has said that Chabad Lubavitch is performing a doctrine of pedophilia when the Rabbinical Council of America tried to sue the New York Department of Health. So if I go to my account, actually my main account, and you search my main account for yumpu.com. Okay, here we go. I just put in the keyword Yumpu. See, this is the level of search band I have, but it's working today. So this is a document that the ADL got censored from Johns Hopkins Medical, from a Jewish doctor that also works at Ben Sinai Hospital, Jonathan Zemmelman, MD. And the ADL has said Jew baby lives don't matter. Only those who suck their penises and kill them with infant herpes do. It's very anti-Semitic of the ADL to be against, to support those who kill Jewish babies. So this is the document here. Also on the site, we have the Israeli Ministry of Health. On their main website, gov.il, says we support the act of sucking children's genitals. And in Arizona, anyone who boycotts the nation of child penis genital sucking must not get any government contract. So if we search Arizona and see what comes up, this is Missions to Israel. Let's see if we can find it here. This is Proposition 137, which says once the judge has been appointed by a committee that only allows Democrat judges, must be one third Democrat, one third independent, which is basically Democrat vote for judges. So you can't vote your way out of having all Democrat judges in Arizona. And they said once the Democrat judge has been appointed, they asked the voters in Arizona to take away their agency to recall said unelected judges. But where is the so much is going on. It's very, very hectic. Here we have the the police chief that arrested my best friend Adam will be talking about later. She has covered up a raid on the evidence locker, and they don't want to release the records request for the raid. And my source for that is Ryan Quitkin, the former deputy police chief. So searching Arizona, what we have in Arizona is psychiatrists saying if you do a Roman salute, you must be force medicated. You'd have a right to a trial. If you think this character, Adam Zickerman, who ticked the DEI box on his application to become a judge and said he was an intergenerational Holocaust victim, because when his mother had sex with his daddy, the pain of the Holocaust was transferred through the sperm. Therefore, he uses DEI to take someone else's more qualified job. Well, he is also in the Washington Post saying that people have the religious right to have sex with 9-year-old girls, and he got disciplined for that. So if I search Adam Zickerman, Samuel Bateman, Washington Post, you can see here in the Washington Post that Samuel Bateman said the whole case against Samuel Bateman was religious persecution. So just search persecution. There you go. This case continues to be a quest for religious persecution, and my client maintains his innocence. But he actually got disciplined by a judge for saying that, because the FBI 2 weeks earlier said the whole case was about Samuel Bateman having sex with his 9 and 12-year-old wives. Okay, it even mentions part of the indictment in the Washington Post article. So if you believe the Washington Post and a judge that disciplined Zickerman for being a pedophile rights activist, you're delusional and you must be force medicated. If you're against murder bad things happening to people being treated with COVID in the hospital, you're delusional and you must be force medicated. If you're against if you know too much about the wrong pedophile, you must be force medicated. If you know about building code corruption, in the case of William Henry Redding, you must be force medicated. There's only 3 people who decide who's sane in Coconino County, which is unlike any other county in Arizona, and all 3 people have done corrupt conduct. This is epic. This is how this framework they're using to take out people who know too much. And all the shills on X that are getting paid money to feed Americans' names into the CISA database, then they're targeted by special task forces. People will be arrested for some hoax or something small, and then you will never have a right to defend yourself, and you'll be chemically lobotomized in a mental facility that gets more money than the jails these days. And you'll never have a right to a trial, defend yourself, and the police never even bother giving you, exculpatory evidence or anything of any kind, such as body cams. So this is the new America where you don't have a right to a trial and you're guilty until proven innocent. I've been dealing with the authorities in Arizona for 2 years now, as you know. For some Australia, it's crazy. A reason we see here the Australians were predicting that it was all going to the revolution was going to kick off in Arizona if Trump didn't win. I mean, that's the state broadcaster in Australia's story there. It's crazy. There's our earlier interview. What I'm looking for is so Adam Zickerman, of course, is a Mason. And that was a huge conflict of interest in his case. So I've got all the applications. So we're talking about 3 pedophile rings, the Ordo Templi Orientis, heavily involved in Adam's case, because his accuser is a member of the Ordo Templi Orientis who was licensed to work, who was working in a hospital without a license. And if you do crimes and confess your crimes to police, the police will pay you victims' compensation for loss of criminal income and then give you a job. After Adam said she was a member of a child abuse cult in his police interview with Sergeant Lauren Leon. So the indictment against Adam Smith has the claims that Rachel Belinsky is giving COVID shots in a hospital, okay? So this one here says testing. I think that's the indictment, but the police report, oh no, this is a grand jury indictment, okay, against Adam that has to be correct under penalty of perjury. They say Rachel is a healthcare practitioner. She works at COVID testing sites. She also does intramuscular COVID vaccinations at a hospital. That is what the police are saying in the grand jury indictment. And the nursing board says, medical board says no license. Nursing board says no license. So that's a class 5 felony. And all nursing imposters by law must have their name listed publicly. But because this nurse is in the satanic child rape cult that founded gay rights in America through their member Harry Hay, the nursing board reported the YouTube videos, which are unlisted, that only they got in my complaint to the nursing board as COVID misinformation. And they told us, we're going to break the law and we don't have to publicly list nurse imposters. And then the head of the nursing board, we'll call him Joey, asked Adam Smith to give up all of his exculpatory evidence in order to get Rachel arrested, such as a plea deal in writing, which we haven't got back yet, which is time served, disorderly conduct, misdemeanor, down from attempted murder. And Adam refused because he wants to use his court case as a means to go on court TV to bring down Hillary Clinton's and Epstein's cult. I allege that the OTO is Epstein's cult. They have a doctrine of child abuse because if you look at the temple on Little St. James, especially inside it, with what's been released by someone I allege to be a shill, James O'Keefe, who can't seem to work out what's inside the temple. We see 2 pillars, just like a Gnostic Catholic Mass, and a cult bookshelf. And outside we have, 2 Egyptian deities on the roof. So, yeah. So, what we'll do now is, you see this guy here, Alex Rivkin, had his house burned down exactly 10 days after I found a loophole in hate speech laws. So we'll go back to my email and we'll finish the story about Australia. So that's a loophole in the hate speech law. We covered that. So this is how I baited him to my profile, my main profile. I said, how dare you attack me for making a film about an Australian Jew, David Patel, who exercised his privilege to have sex with about 20 Muslim teenagers he picked up from the streets of Bangladesh, brought to Australia, falsely called them gay Muslim refugees, blackmailed them with their visas to have sex with them, called his child rape victims anti-Semitic at Monash University anti-Semitism conference, got to fly overseas and leave Australia, which is something criminals cannot do if there's pending court action without permission of a judge, whilst holding a passport to a non-extradition country, and then came back to Australia. So there, that's the Monash University link there, jnet.com.au, where everything I'm saying is like fully sourced. It's worth diving into my timeline. But half of my tweets on my main account are all shadow banned. So I baited him to my profile, right? He saw there was a loophole in hate speech laws. And then 10 days later, the first in the wave of anti-Semitism attacks begin, because this government document here that said pedophiles can't sue triggered the second in charge of the Australian Executive Council of Jury, and he reported these government documents for hate speech, thereby self-identifying his cult and his religion of, Herbad Lubavitch as pedophilia. So the rabbi of the Great Synagogue of Sydney, Raymond Apple, his name was put in a caravan next to explosives the federal police ordered an informant to buy, who since fled to Dubai. And that rabbi his name was put in the caravan hoax that's being investigated by Parliament. This is my submission to it, is on joi.com.au saying, isn't it great that rabbis suck baby penis blood? Which is a criminal act under Australian law. And that Alex Rivkin's boss is on tape telling me, I will arrest any Jew, I will swat any Jew in Australia, or report to the police, I mean, that comes to my attention, does the child penis sucking ritual. And then I find out he's friends with Raymond Apple, if you see my timeline. So he was just saying that to me. I think he'll walk it back now. So yeah, that's the true reason why the religion of Judaism got terrorism to happen in Australia. And Alex Rivkin didn't burn down his house. He burnt down his former residence, I allege. And then next door to a school, a Jewish school, they burnt down the competition, a childcare centre. And they do this after Avi Yemeni pioneered the way by burning down his former gym that he sold called idftraining.com.au. Do you see a pattern emerging here of false flags, Jim Fetzer?
Yes, continue.
Yeah, so that's the quick situation with Australia. Now, in Arizona, I have been trying to get the medical board for the last 6 months to confirm or deny if it's illegal to put your mouth around a child's genitals and have that fluid from a child's body flow into your mouth. And the medical board has been refusing to say it is illegal. And here are some laws in Arizona. Okay, this is ARS, or Arizona Record and Statutes 131401. Definition number 1. Oral sexual conduct means oral contact with the penis, vulva, or anus. So it meets the definition of, child sex. Now, jump over here. Sexual conduct with a minor. If you suck someone's penis, it's ARS 11405. Sounds right. Good. It's a crime. But ARS 1407 defenses. You can suck a child's penis if it's done in furtherance of lawful medical practice. And what is lawful medical practice? Anyone who's licensed by the medical board or exempt. And it says here, if you're practicing religion, you have the same rights as a doctor, and you're lawfully practicing medicine. So I'm trying to ask if these laws combine together to make child sex legal. And Arizona has decriminalized the act of giving herpes to children in sex acts. And a lot of Jewish babies have died from herpes. So now, because of the need of Chabad Lubavitch to have sex with children, non-Jews who get arrested for having sex with children and would normally get more time in jail for the aggravating factor of giving a child an STD it's very hard to get rid of, which is herpes, will now get less jail time, thanks to Chabad Lubavitch. All pedophiles who give children STDs when they rape them will get less jail. Gonorrhea and more minor STDs are still listed as aggravating factors for the charge. So I think there is a bit of a conspiracy going on with that, and this thread gets bigger. So I actually had an interaction with a Arizona preschool childcare licensing head of department in Arizona, Margaret Banal, and on the phone with her at her end, I asked her, is it legal to suck a child's penis? And she couldn't say it was illegal. Okay, so the definition of anti-Semitism means making stereotypical allegations that Jews as a collective have power to do things that other people can't do, like have sex with children and get no jail. But so just going to the case law website we saw earlier is anti-Semitic, because you must cover up the level of power they have, or you're a hate criminal. Can anyone please name non-Jews who are not connected to, let's say, an Ordo Templi Orientis cult such as P. Diddy, who have these powers just to not get jail when they should? So I wrote to her. I wrote to her a bit of a dossier about this. So when she refused to say it was illegal, so So this tweet here is normally that's the laws we saw before. What's this one here? This is the document from the Jewish doctor, which is very hardcore. I'm putting a screen. We've got the Israeli Ministry of Health. Okay, on their website, what do they say? We don't think there is any problem with sucking child penis in Israel. Okay, and that's the Israel government set on them. And let me prove it. This was originally on the main website of Israel. So I need to go to search from Israel. Okay. So let's see what comes up. Uh-huh. I know. Let me just search mid-share. Okay. And have they shadow banned it? By the way, I've got Satanists making up fantasies that I've been convicted of child sex in Australia. This is an Australian Federal Police name clearance certificate, the full pay, and it says I've never been convicted of a crime in Australia, and they don't try people on absentia. And I left in 2007. I haven't come back, so I've never been convicted in Australia, never been convicted in America. And he reported me sharing the document that I have no criminal convictions because he says that releases information on a Twitter user, i.e. myself. So the Jews can't have you debunk their child sex conviction fantasies. And the same bullshit was just done on JQ Radio Space. And JQ Radio moderators said, you can't be against our moderators making child sex conviction fantasies against you, because then you're again who's an enemy of Mossad. We stand with the right. We have the right to say you're a convicted pedophile when you're not. So this is so yeah. We've basically proven that JQ Radio is a Fed operation. Put some stuff on that on my timeline, but yeah, it's very hard to find. Let me find the original link. Let me here we go. Here we got it here. Here we go. So this link was valid before gov.il. Okay. And now they've given me a 404. Thank you, Israel, for that. Israel ran from me and took it down. And yeah, so this is their document. It says, according to the current medical and halakhic information available to us, we are of the opinion that there's no need to ban the child penis sucked by mouth ritual, mitzvah repair, and we are the government of Israel, and we don't think there's a problem with sucking children's penises. So that combines with the laws in Arizona. Anyone who wants to boycott the nation of child penis sucking, okay, must be banned from getting all government contracts. And did you cover the story of Ted Cruz making a loyalty oath to all the victims of the Texas flooding, where Ted Cruz says you will not get any aid for your house being hit by floods because someone opened a dam, unless you make a loyalty oath to the nation of child penis sucking is okay as us. Did you cover that already, Jim?
Well, you go right ahead. I mean, you want this to be comprehensive, my friend. Go right ahead and then.
Did you hear about Ted Cruz making everyone to make loyalty oaths to Israel in the recent Texas flooding to get aid?
In order to receive
government relief funds, yes.
To recover. Yeah, these kinds of loyalty oaths are somehow making their way around the country. I mean, it's absurd on its face.
So Adam Smith's ex-girlfriend's brother is also in the Ordo Templi Orientis, like she is. Adams gave a police interview, which was released heavily redacted with an illegal audio noise filter from Sedona police. But in his original police interview, he did say that it talked about Rachel's initiation ritual with a large sword. And this is her brother or cousin who was killed by the Mujahideen in Iraq as a CIA contractor with the exact same sword I just happened to find that he talked about Rachel's story. That's him being killed. You see, he likes the OTO, the 666, the Aleister Crowley, the great beast 666, who writes the poem Ballad to Passive Pederasty. But get this. If we look at my secondary account, Stop Boy Lover, oh, yes, view profile. Okay. We've got some training videos from the Auto Templi Orientis that were originally put on YouTube. And I didn't know that was suspended. And one video that the OTO titled themselves is called The Cakes of Blood and Light and AIDS. And they say we consume human blood. And people are being prosecuted in Australia right now for saying the OTO drinks blood. And if the OTO, if you go to Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission and acnc.gov.au and download their bylaws document, the OTO in Australia says we get all our orders from the outer head of the order, which is this guy here on the camera, David Shriven. Okay, even identifies him as what's his name here? So you can see Frater Siberius X, Frater Hermes. I think somewhere here he comes in and speaks. They caption his name. They go Frater Siberius X. So that's the head of the OTO in Australia. I was like in the world actually. And this is the one we saw on our last show where he said 2 children must, not adult stand-ins, must join the Gnostic Catholic mass sex magic ritual. So it is the religion of blood drinking and child sex. It founded gay rights through Harry Hay. If we look at my current account here, Andrew Breitbart took videos of Harry Hay in NAMBLA meetings, holding up NAMBLA signs at gay pride rallies, and children are forced to study him every Gay History Month due to Californian House Bill SB 48. So nambla.org/hey on manboylove.html is LGBT History Month, the official founder of gay rights in America. But recently, the Auto Templi Orientis has been trying to delete from the internet what Master of the Hermit Triad XI, their highest official level of their cult, is, which is Master of Gay Anal Sex Magic Sodomy to open the gates of hell. All the mainstream news used to talk about it, and it's recently been deleted from Wikipedia. So the first gay rights organization in America is the Auto Templi Orientis, and the most holy book of the law that they have has the phrase, sacrifice a cattle, little and big, after a child. And the guy in the video we just saw before, David Shriven, is going into court to argue that every inmate must be entitled to the book that says children must be killed. That quote is in the book, verbatim, sacrifice a cattle, little and big, after a child. But if you ask Google AI, it will deny it. So as you know, I've been recently got some threats by someone who says, don't send emails against state-sponsored pedophilia or we'll get you, which basically did the opposite effect. I now have to give the address of all the people involved in this cover-up and all the dossiers to all the other stakeholders, such as the Hells Angels motorcycle gang, because one of their members, William Henry Redding, who found out that jail doesn't have a certificate of occupancy, and Coconino County has refused 3 records requests to give the certificate of occupancy for the jail, saying it's Flagstaff, and Flagstaff says it's Coconino County, both in formal records requests. The county is not giving records. The county is not refusing to give us records on why they pay checks to convicted pedophiles who are banned from doing business in Washington State. Yeah, it's really kicking off. So let's go back to my email and see the recent correspondence between me and this pedophile protector. Let's see, sent messages. Okay, so this is just an email to, I sent a call recording to because I was getting threatening emails. I got from this Stubberfield Kari special investigator. She said if you share a clip of K-pop Demon Hunters about with the phrase takedown in it, i.e., to take down corrupt government officials lawfully through the proper channels. That is a veiled threat, and we have to hunt you down. If you share K-pop demon hunters, the demon lovers who help pedophiles, who give no punishment to convicted rapists, will come after you. So I wrote back to her. Google has removed from the Google index the Tucson Sentinel news article that proves a link between the judge in Coconino County, who is denying people's right to a trial by jury, and the victim of the attempted murder. So if I look at the pinned account on this account, we can see that victim. His name is Francis Kiel Mendoza. Okay, that's what he looks like. And he has been referred for psychiatric assessment after being found sane in 5 previous court cases for no reason whatsoever, apart from his public pretender lawyer saying, who's just got out of law school, saying, I've been told to do this and it's my duty, and I just want to do it because I feel like it for no reason. So because we don't want to provide the body cam of police breaking the law, refusing to identify, and attempting to murder someone on order from a convicted pedophile. So in order to stop the county being sued for millions of dollars, we're just going to make sure the person who could sue us for millions of dollars gets needle raped and lobotomized because we can. Yeah, the county has shut down all public comment, and are faking that they have Zoom calls, email public comment, phone calls. I wouldn't be surprised if they control access of who can actually make public comment in the county, because I criticized the Board of Supervisors doing a selfie with the leader of the Chabad child penis sucked by mouth cult, and then the same day announcing it to be Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And I called them out on that. And I said that only 8%, between 8 and 10% of American Jews are in cults of the Jewish sects, which are mandated to do the ritual. So that's 8% of 2% of America is the number of Jewish parents who are obligated to have their children's penis sucked, which still turns out to be a pretty big number, in the thousands, in the hundreds of thousands, maybe. So yeah, you can see it. You can see that on their YouTube channel, my 3-minute speech that made them end all public comment. Now they no longer give out Zoom meetings. And the same thing previously happened with Bal Harbour when I confronted the lawyer Gabe Groisman, who's suing the dean of Berkeley Law before October 7th, because they say it's discrimination to kick Zionist Mossad agents out of Palestinian student groups, because to be against Zionism is to be against all Jews, is what the ADL is arguing in court in their lawfare against the most respected Berkeley Law legal institution in America. And that's Gabe Groisman doing that. And he says any American who criticizes the act of sucking a children's penis in his attack on me is un-American and does not belong in the country. So if you don't like child penis sucking, this ADL lawyer who's in the Shul Bal Harbour synagogue that says you're not allowed to go to the hospital for the bris, the child penis must be sucked once you out. I'm sorry to be very blunt and talk like this. It's not about Jews sucking children's penis. It's about the normalization of pedophilia, because if the precedent was set when Chabad Rabbinical Council of America sued the New York Department of Health, which tried to limit this child abuse activity, if they were successful, then the Ordo Templi Orientis would be able to do their Gnostic Catholic mass child orgies. The fundamental sect of the Latter-day Saints will be able to do their religious practice of sex with their 9-year-old wives. The gays will be allowed to put dollar bills in little boys twerking for them, and so on and so forth. It's a slippery slope of pedophilia, and we just cannot let it pass. Does that kind of make sense?
Well, depending on one's point of view, of course.
Yeah. So here is a conversation I had with JQ Radio. Let's just look at this, okay? So yeah, I was in JQ Radio, like the biggest, they claim to be the biggest space exposing Zionists on X. And I was using my out account called Luke's Minion. And the host of the space, which the management of JQ Radio says is anti-Zion, you are a Fed if you're against her. They were talking about King Charles, and I said, well, can I please say that King Charles had his penis sucked by Rabbi Jacob Snowman, according to Christians for Israel.com.au and the Jewish Telegraph Agency, the biggest Jewish news website in the world. And no, we don't. No, we don't want to talk about that. We don't link. We don't want to link King Charles to the Jews. No. I go, okay, that's fine. It's fine. I didn't put it in the jumbotron. I had to ask first, and then and she says, no, please don't link King Charles to being British Israelism and being a Zionist. And then she says, she goes, oh, why does she says she mixes me up with someone else, and says, oh, Luke McKee has a bad reputation. And she says, I'm a convicted sex offender, but I've got no convictions in Australia or America. I've never been charged with this. So she makes up black lies about someone that they're kind of working with the Jews who like making up this stuff. And we scroll down a bit more, and I show her that this has all been debunked. Okay. And I also show that my security license, there's a government link to check that you can click on, that says my license was valid till 2011. I last was in Australia in 2007, and you can't leave Australia with any criminal charges pending, right? I won my court case and then I left Australia. So I know that court case was for an illegal immigrant trying to charge me with assault to get a ZB951 criminal justice stay visa. When I'm finished with saving America and trying to bring down Epstein's Auto Templi Orientis cult and Hillary Clinton's Auto Templi Orientis spirit cooking cult, I'll be coming back to deal with Australia, but not until then. Yeah. And so there was in the Today Space and JQ Radio, they said, you must support our leadership making child sex conviction fantasies against enemies of basically Mossad. You must stand with Mossad at JQ Radio. So I think their reputation is shot. I'm going to download a clip of Today's Space of when they said that. Yeah, so that's the biggest Nazi group in. Let's click on the link. Let's see if I can click on the link. Where is it? Here we go. Verify license. Opening live from a government website. Oh, okay. Welcome to Verify New South Wales. Okay. And it's pulling up the stats on me from a government database now. And loading. It'll come up in a sec. You know how it is when this is live. So anyway, the other thing I have to show is that the head of the jail there, they've taken down Reuters bought case text so they could take it offline. So you can't see things like the sheriff that's locking all these people up who are denying their right to a trial. He's been accused by the former juvenile defender in the county who ran for election and almost won by 1% to become in charge of the Coconino County's attorney's office, Gary Perlmutter. And when he was in an unfair dismissal lawsuit, he alleged that the sheriff likes to cover up the rape of children in the juvenile detention center. I told this to Big Brothers Big Sisters, that one of the most respected Jews in their community says another one of their board members loves to cover up child sex. And they said, don't call again or we'll call the police on you. We at Big Brothers Big Sisters Flagstaff, who have our leadership shipped to Israel on tours all the time, love that someone who is been alleged by someone of great character or a lot of standing in the community to cover up child sex. We love officials that cover up child sex running Big Brothers Big Sisters. Now we've got Joshua Steinlage involved. This is Joshua Steinlage's WhatsApp here. That is him. I don't even think it's his son. I think it's someone else. That same bear appears on the the governor of Arizona that signed Adam Smith's illegal extradition warrant. So if you scroll up here, you can see Katie Hobbs, same bear. Hello, hello, Smokey Bear. I don't know if Steinlage is in it. But yeah, I'm just being hunted down by these people, and they're trying to take out my account, delete exculpatory evidence. And they also said I'm going to delete all the emails you send me and not act on them as I'm responsible for, because I don't want to investigate crimes being done by government officials. I just want to delete the report. I want to do the crime of not accepting a police report, and I want to delete your police report because I am corrupt. That is what Kari said. Otherwise, I'll know to delete your emails. So see that is destruction of records, a police report under Arizona law, and a crime. Special agents can cover up police reports of high-level crimes and go after people who expose state-sponsored child rapists. So if we look over the next email we're going to have a look at is a big one I sent to the governor of Washington State, who was formerly the Attorney General and is involved in accepting illegal extradition requests. What the Arizona Department of Public Safety says me and Adam Smith have no intelligence file number. It doesn't exist. Well, on the extradition, they used the intelligence file number that they said didn't exist. This is an Arizona. This is an Arizona Department of Justice Criminal Information System, or AJCIS reference number, the SID. Okay, showing the file does exist, and it's exculpatory evidence which must be given to the defense, and there's case law precedents to prove it. But they don't want to give exculpatory evidence. What we believe is Adam Smith was targeted by the feds in a BDSM sting operation using a satanic criminal, Rachel Belinsky. He was baited into town, into this really corrupt jurisdiction, to be destroyed because he was a COVID researcher. Yeah, so this is the AJCIS network, whatever. Now let's look at this here. This is a list of all the great government leaders in northern Arizona. Okay, you've got the mayor of Sedona, you've got Coconino County. This is just an organization called the Northern Arizona Council of Governments. So after the VIP pedophile Epstein 2.0, Howard Seth Leventhal got convicted for drug dealing, which you can look up on the AZ Court's website. He becomes a leader running a whole chain of taxpayer-funded preschools. So we look on here for Howard Seth Leventhal. There we go. Howard Leventhal, NACDAB chair, which is this Indian preschool chain. Okay, and let's just Google Howard Seth Leventhal. Howard Seth Leventhal. Okay, Leventhal. So after he got no jail for having sex with children in 2008, he writes this here. And he says he loves to work at I've checked all this. I've got all of his, I've proven he's didn't lie about what universities he went to. Let me just search for Big Brothers. See, he says he volunteers with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Okay. And he's the chairman of he served as chairman of NAGOC and NADAB. That's that organization we saw before he became chairman. Okay. Both of these have been confirmed. At the local Head Start means HHS government funded school programs. Okay, and this is how, and if we look at his photos, right, it's just him with kids. Uploaded after his conviction for raping kids. Yeah, and I've confirmed him to be Jewish, of course. And recently, Pam, you're talking a lot about Epstein, right? And Pam Bondi said Epstein is not intelligence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But didn't Acosta in Florida when Epstein was arrested the first time say I had to let him go because it was over my pay grade and he wasn't intelligence. Is that correct?
Yeah, Costa he was told he was intelligence.
I know. But let's say hypothetically that and I'm emphasizing the hypothetically here that Pam Bondi is spoken the truth that Epstein wasn't intelligence, then maybe the real reason he was let go in the first time round in West Palm Beach when he was arrested over there was because he was Jewish, because it's not intelligence. And here we see, oh, another one Jewish happening, maybe it's Jewish. That's anti-Semitic hate crime to say, but Pam Bondi's opened the door for that. Do you not see that? We have to have another reason if it's not
I
intelligence. And
I don't think nobody would buy.
yeah, well, it wouldn't be the first time it's happened. Is this guy intelligence here? Therefore, he has rights to rape kids too. I don't believe so. I think it's because he's Jewish. So let's give Pam Bondi has been anti-Semitic in dropping the saying that uh, Epstein is not intelligence. That means he must have had some other special way to get no jail for having sex with kids, just like this guy. So it's Jewish. Yeah, so let's just go through this here. This here, Coconut County in these minutes, okay, which they've blocked Vietnam because of me, by the way, from accessing the website. They blocked me from Zoom. They're really trying to shut me down. I get around it with a VPN. So this man, the county is writing checks to this convicted pedophile Jew child rapist who gets no jail, who has the local sheriff's doing attempted murder. And Washington State that approved the extradition against Adam, as you can see here, has banned him from doing business in the state because he's a criminal fraudster. And there's all the signatures from Washington State order to say, you don't do business in Washington State again. We're giving you an AVO as a bad businessman to stay out of our state, or we'll give you criminal charges, you piece of shit, scamming, fraudster, drug dealer, convicted child rapist, whatever. So this is the same to the same Howard Seth Leventhal guaranteed, not a namesake. There are some namesakes out there. Howard S. Leventhal of Ash Fork, Arizona, is who we're talking about. And basically, if you want to get a building contract in Coconut County, you must pay the Big Brothers, Big Sisters pedophile ring. Concernedwoman.org. They were the first American organization before Boy Scouts to say gay men must take little boys off into the woods, nothing will go wrong. And Disney Pixar Australia runs this website, ourspace.bbbs.org.au, which is a dating site for gay men and little boys, a cam dating site. It was working last week. We'll see if they've blocked me now. I'll shut it down. I actually asked the IRGC to make this a target, and they probably took it off the internet because of me. Okay. Well, if I search that link on my Twitter, you're going to find a lot more. The biggest pedophile website in the world was ran by Shannon McCool, and he worked in America at camphorizonsva.com. And let me just show you, it actually might be not Epstein not being intelligent, it might be Jewish because there's a Jewish connection to that one as well. So if I search from the ZB951 visa and ourspace.bbbs.org.au, this will also a huge case. Oh yeah, Adam had his whole Telegram group shut down. Here we go. Let's find it here. Have they taken it off the internet? They've shadow banned that tweet. Okay, let me just search. Big Brothers. Oh, here's Big Brothers, Big Sisters are very Zionist. They cannot Bradshaw Gertz from Big Brothers, Big Sisters cannot write the word God because Jews believe you can't write the word God in. Oh, they've edited it. Oh, God. Oh, they've edited it. Holy shit. They're on to me. I love this. Okay. Wow. You can't. I like I said, I cop a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I know the website. ISS. Oh, okay. Issue. Okay. So IS. Yeah, this is right. So there's a link on my main account, right? Or issue link. See that there? They've shadow banned the tweet, but there is a whole tweet that about the Shannon McCall case in Australia, proving that he worked at Big Brothers Big Sisters Australia, and a royal commission covered it up because the government decided the reputation of Jews is more important than to get justice for all the non-Jewish Goyim children who were raped under the care of Jewish Care Australia, Big Brothers Big Sisters. And the website for camphorizonsva.com had Shannon McCall working, saying he worked at Big Brothers Big Sisters Australia. And for a time, they left the file up, but put a different date for the newsletter to try and hide it. And Shannon McCall is connected to John and William Hall Facebook accounts that belong to the same guy, who is the owner of Camp Horizons VA in America. And he ran the biggest child porn website in the world. And this evidence should have been presented in the Royal Commission, but it was not, because the reputation of Jews matter more than getting justice for victims of child abuse. I know there are many victims of Howard Leventhal that are fear for their life and haven't come forwards and haven't prosecuted him. And they are known to Francis Keel Mendoza in jail, and the child protection workers and internal affairs don't want to interview him the last 2 weeks. They only want to threaten people. Oh, come on, New South Wales government. Load it up again. I loaded it on my phone just before I came here. Piece of, yeah, I was doing it live. I'll come back to it. So let's just keep going through this here. So this is the Tucson Sentinel news article that proves a link between Joshua Steinlage, the judge that is denying the Francis Keel's right to a trial. And so he has a huge conflict of interest. Do you think if a judge previously represented one of the parties to a case, should that judge say that the enemy of that other party doesn't have a right to go to court and must be force medicated? Is that a huge conflict of interest, do you think, Jim Fetzer?
Of course.
Okay, so here we have, this is May 8, 2008, right? And in here we see the name Josh Steinlage. And we see Howard Leventhal, okay? Howard Leventhal, 51, also arrested Howard Leventhal. And we also see Lee Cox lawyer, or lawyers for all the pedophiles in this ring, was the public defender, and Josh Steinlage. I've confirmed that. You see Josh Steinlage right here was lawyer for the pedophiles in this ring. Now, they also say in this article that Jewish pedophile, we've arrested a whole bunch of pedophiles who raped as a collective these children. And we may be arresting more. But because they're Jewish and Jewish pedophile rings don't exist, we can't say there's a pedophile ring. They also said that in this article, because Jew pedophile rings don't exist. But hey, look, what's Epstein? Hello. This article, you see the Josh Steinlage and you see the Howard Leventhal. What's this? Howard Leventhal, in double quotes, Josh Steinlage. This worked to go to the Tucson Sentinel, but not to me, 1 week ago. A law enforcement officer said, I want to remove the Tucson Sentinel's content from the Google index to make it harder to verify what Luke McKee is saying. Your tax dollars are being used to delete the mainstream news, because the mainstream news, if researchers can use that to show about the Jewish privilege to have sex with children and get no jail. Like I said, that's not the only thing. I found Rachel Belinsky, okay, on Goodreads. Nothing found. I originally Googled Rachel Belinsky Crowley, okay, and to try and find, and I found her Goodreads page. This is her IMDb page. This is Adam's accuser. She is star of the Jesus the Total Douchebag and Farm Dickhole captive audience, Dirtbags. Oh, have they removed Ravage the Scream Queen? Oh, there's Ravage the Scream Queen here with her on the front. Okay. And so she makes she's what you call a victim, because a victim makes films that say that imply women enjoy being gang raped. A victim is someone who does perjury to the police. A victim is someone who confesses doing a class 5 felony to police, then gets victims compensation for loss of class 5 felony, illegal crime to do, income, nurse imposter cash. Basically, the Arizona Criminal Justice Commission, who blocked me on Twitter, has become the only fans for ugly woman. If you're an ugly woman and you want to make money doing sex, you can do BDSM sting operations. It's the new OnlyFans for ugly woman, and I'm not. This is disgusting, right? This film implies women being gang raped, and she also got her best friend, Julie K. Hudson. What's this, Julie K. Hudson? All labels aside, they stole this book from the Cell. Okay, Julie K. Hudson. Both of those girls are in the Ultimate Light Mission Sedona that baited Adam into town, that has events praising Aleister Crowley. So let's just search for Ultimate Light Mission domestic terrorists. Okay, ultimate. Just make it focus on Ultimate Light Mission a little bit more. And they've removed it from the Google index to a second article from the Tucson Sentinel. I just found out in this very moment. Wow. And this is the level of cover up here. Oh, there's actually oh yeah, that's my February 11th speech. And I talked about the Tucson Sentinel. That's been preserved. But yeah, let me just show you what's been removed from Google on Twitter. That's a third thing. So the feds are clearly interested in this case and trying to make it hard for you to research it, whilst they report my Twitter accounts and try and censor it too. So we're dealing with your tax dollars trying to cover up the next Epstein, basically. Is this shocking? Um, so So I have to search Twitter because I can't search Google. Okay. And here we are. Here's the headline: Paper terrorism used by sovereign citizens, domestic paper terrorists. There's the link to the article. Okay. And I put that to archive.is because as a cheap proxy to get it from. And so the prosecutor listens to me talk to Adam. They removed the videos from their website where Adam met Rachel. But I proved that they deleted just those videos by finding a video on their Vimeo channel. I tell Adam about it. And Dan Noble, the prosecutor, who's responsible for preventable robberies and drugs in Sedona, because he let go 2 career criminals, Christian Matthew White and James Dylan Bryant, on the promise they testify in Adam's case. And then he tells the judge, I want him locked up and force medicated. I don't want him to go to trial, even though I promised the governor of Washington State I will take him to trial. I promise. Here's my affidavit. And so he's used Adam's case as a vehicle to let go his favorite career criminals so they can appear up in case law again, doing more robberies and more drugs. And the other scary thing is did you hear about the news in Arizona about a Zionist with a Yahweh tattoo on his neck, who said anyone who believes in any other God but the Jewish Moshiach that is to come must be killed, who went on a mission to kill 14 pastors, one for himself and one for each tribe of Israel? Adam Christopher Searle. Did you hear that story? Jim. Jim's a bit tired. Yeah, well, I was talking to him before the mainstream news broke because his lawyer was Adam Zickerman, the pedophile we talked about before. the pedophile rights activists, I mean. Really, this worked this morning. I hate you. I could open on my phone. Anyway, yeah, so I think we'll wind it up because Jim is a bit tired, but there's a lot to look into here on my timeline. And yeah, they're coming for you next. There's five people in Flagstaff who've been denied their right to a trial by jury. Every week there are about 10 more. So this is a big email I sent to the governor. Let's look at the attachment, okay? Let's look at the attachments. So every week in this is an example of 1 week, okay? These are all, see how there's no name? Secret cases of people just being sent straight to the mental home and being denied a proper trial. This week we only had 4 or 5, but sometimes there's 10 or 15 case numbers that you can't look up. And I put surveillance on them. Nothing ever comes up, and the case name is secret. And there's a lot of secret cases of people being force medicated without due process. This new Rule 11 procedure started in 2022 as a way to clear the backlog. And yeah, let's see what's in my request here. So these are some direct links. Okay, here we go. What the hell? That's funny. That's a Tucson article we just saw. Now, here is the Auto Templi Orientis. Yeah, this is the Gnostic Catholic Mass the OTO does. It's pretty sexual in nature. And they say this one's sensitive too. This is the ritual that Rachel Blisky has done, that the head of the cult, this is the former head of the cult, Grady McMurtry, say, in a ritual with little kids and naked priestesses. And in the ritual, the naked priestess gets on her stage, spreads her legs, and so on and so forth. So it really is a sex magic for kids, or eyes wide shut for children. This is the Koffnia Lodge who published these images. They love doing the rituals with the kids, and they say, please call us in advance if children are coming to the sex magic ritual on their website. And a jury needs to see this Adam Smith's trial. I mean, it'd take away their 501c3. Then all the judges in Australia that sent people to jail without trial and did acts of kidnapping for the OTO will go down. And here's the headline of this happening in Australia. Age newspaper, couple jailed for contempt. So this is the power of Epstein's cult, Auto Templi Orientis. If you disrespect them, police will come for you. They seem to control the police and the politicians so well. If you publish a document from a 1997 Young Australian of the Year, Dr. Rena Mickelson, founder of the Child Sexual Abuse Prevention Program, the OTO child rape cult will come for you, kidnap you, and they own the police. And this is talking about what the High Court of Australia said was an extrajudicial illegal kidnapping in the court case Burns, Ganner, and Corbett. And there's Magistrate Harbinson. Her vanity phone extension is 4 6s, but the rest of the judges don't even have 6s in their numbers. She did something special to get that. And yeah, some guy stole her car and was shot dead by police. Very, very strange case. As an inquest into that too. Repkinski inquest, I think. So yeah, this and the head of the OTO in Australia is suing people right now, and I'm on news.com.au. So let me just search for that. Incentnews.com.au. See what comes up latest. Yeah, the mainstream news is talking about this. Here we go. Let's find it here. This is my submission to Parliament, which Google is planning to delete right now, which shows where I found those leaked training videos. This is the Gnostic Catholic Mass ritual that 2 children, not adult stand-ins, must join, according to the head of the cult in leaked training videos. That's the head of the cult in those training videos, a bit older, David Forrest Schreiben from Riverside, California. I actually called the local Riverside police on him. and they wanted to do the deal with me on WhatsApp, which was unorthodox. And they told me he's too connected to the Democrat Party. I can't move against him. And then I did a records request later to prove that I wasn't stalking Rachel Belinsky. I was going after her cult before I met her. And they said they have no records of any of my interactions for 2 weeks with Riverside detectives, because when the Riverside detectives just pretended to investigate the OTO to support the child sex cult. So this is this is the head of OTO Cochlear Lodge that published the pictures of those children's in the sex magic rituals before that we saw. That's the YouTube channel where the leak training videos came from. And look, there's like 30 hours of leak training videos. Holy shit, it's real. And look at the dates on them. 16 years ago, okay? Long before generative AI. Nothing is faked. This is not a QTAR disinformation thing. So David Bottrell, the head of the cult in Australia, did testify. We don't do rituals with children. So those images I showed you before, people having sex, well, this is from the those same images came from the former head of OTO Germany. That's his website, Peter Koning, powerreligion.ch. Where was I? Uh-oh. Anyway, we're trying to find now. Oh yeah, this is another link to look at. This is Israel Hayom says it's a red line in the sand. The Jewish community will not stop police arresting people who suck children's penises. And in Belgium, they're leading the fight against the genocide in Gaza. They're all the doxing of IDF soldiers who have done genocide is coordinated from Belgium. So we support Belgian police for arresting those who sucked child penis last week. But Israel Hayom, just search for Israel Hayom, red line in the sand. What comes up? Okay. Let me. I might have to add methods. Okay. Oh, they've taken it from they've taken it from Google. Okay. Well, I have to search my see how bad Google is getting. This is what we're dealing with. Google is like censoring now Jewish articles where they say it's wrong to be against child sex. So if you want to hear the whole story about what happened to Ash Fork, there's a Twitter space there. Okay, we've seen that. The main news website, we've covered this before. The main website for and that news website for Chabad Lubavitch says the holy practice of child penis sucking must be continued post-COVID. The moil should rinse his mouth with Listerine as that destroys coronavirus. The herpes virus is more dangerous to infants than the coronavirus, and no child has ever been affected with herpes due to Metzger's upper pair. Well, actually, a whole bunch of them have died. Therefore, there is no reason for a moil to discontinue the practice of sucking children's genitals at this time, provided, of course, he is not ill and takes the necessary precautions. And you only don't suck the child's penis if the two conditions are met. The Jew is non-religious, in the context of Chabad, that is. And the parents ask in advance, please don't suck my child penis. I'm just a secular Jew. And when those two conditions are met after COVID, then the rabbi will not do a surprise child penis suck. That is the commandment but he will still suck the blood from the child's penis. He just use a glass tube this time, only in that condition. So that's the official guidelines of anash.org. Here we go. There's a website. It's still up like that. Have a look. Number 10. Oh, seems to be the same, somewhat. Okay. All right. So next. So I write this huge manifesto to Listerine also got on board, and they've taken off their website that Listerine cures COVID because the rabbis were told by God that Listerine is the cure to COVID. And here we go. Our response to COVID-19 from Listerine. There you go. There's that. And of course, the BBC said mouthwash cures coronavirus, but those medical studies were mouthwash with iodine, not Listerine. So it's got deceptive blue little liquid there. So that was fake news from the BBC. And then, of course, a Forbes doctor comes on board on Forbes.com and says your mouth is the most dirty, or one of the second or third most dirty orifices on your body, and you shouldn't be putting it near infants with poor immune systems. And goes into all the videos, all the social media posts quoted by this Bruce Wiley, a senior contributor on health for Forbes, have since been deleted. That's incredible. Are we not surprised? So, yeah. Anyway, he basically says that the claims that Listerine cures COVID is bullshit in Forbes.com. So you can believe the rabbi or you can believe Forbes. Up to you. Now, so we talk about you had to find Israel Hayom. Is this it? No. We're winding it up here. In Arizona, the governor of Arizona, the Secretary of State, Ken Bennett, got a free trip to Israel. He comes back, and now, without going to a Jewish court in Arizona, Americans can buy land in Gaza. The legal process to do it has been set up. The Arizona Apostle Seal now is effective in Israel. You can buy land with US dollars and US courts in Gaza. What do you think about that, Jim?
Outrageous.
I wonder what convinced him to do that on his 2009 trip to Israel. It's my conspiracy theory that trips to Israel is like a trip to Epstein Island, because some of the same things might happen. And other celebrities have made allegations that they went to Israel. I think it was a mixed martial arts fighter. Someone can dig up the clip for me and reply to me on Twitter or email me or whatever you want to do. He was talking about how they tried to set him up with an underage girl on this trip to Israel. Not saying that Ken Bennett had sex with a child. I'm just saying that other people who got their free trips to Israel were set up with a child, and I'll put it on I'll dig it up on my timeline later. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Now, in Australia, the judges, the mainstream media is talking about this guy here doing certain rituals when he fully removed two child's penises using the Morgan clamp, which is a banned circumcision instrument in America because its makers were sued to oblivion in Chabad Lubavitch because they removed a poor boy's penis in Georgia. And he kept using it, and he chopped off two child's penises. And after he fully removed the child's penis and amputated the child's penis, he then sucked what was left of the penis and put the nappy on to almost lead the baby to bleed out. And he's still practicing, but the media says there is a ritual, some special kind of ritual of some kind he did, but they won't name it. And the judges who get to hear what the ritual was in testimony in their court won't even say there was a ritual in court, because if that comes out that there was child penis sucking as well, then the judge would be an obligation to charge this man with child sex. Remember, Peter Wertheim said, anyone who sucks a child penis, I'll be the first to swat them with the police. And he is like the head of the Australian Executive Council of Jury. And he didn't know how much I knew about Metzi Sadoper, so he gave me that line. And I sent an email to him with this dossier, and I said, I want you to take you up on your offer. I'll send you doxers and intelligence on Jews that suck child penis, and you can follow through on your promise to swat them with the police and be arrested. And also the next step is to use Australia's laws regarding child abuse material that says any book that mandates the rape of children is contraband, and its owners must be arrested under the same laws as child porn. Do you think it is proper to have a book in your house that says child penis must be sucked? You could take it that far, I think. So I'm just a militant anti-pedophile activist, and I just don't think people should be. Many people believe that there shouldn't be any doing stuff with penises for any reason. kids' penises for any reason. So yeah, I think we're done today. I've taken it far enough, but this is a lot bigger. We're trying to get the intelligence files. We're trying to get the intelligence files in Adam's case, because if we do, we may find out that Rachel Belinsky was part of some operation. And the Arizona Citizen Ombudsman, who's meant to investigate all these records requests, they have contacted me and said, we stand by our gay former legal FOI officer who says there is a presumption of guilt in Arizona. They said, we can't help Adam Smith because he's in jail and we don't help inmates. But the law says, but they can't have that law because that's a presumption of guilt. Adam has never been convicted of anything in Arizona, and he's not in the Arizona State Department of Corrections, where convicted criminals go. So the Arizona Ombudsman says, we did a good job before when we quoted a statute that doesn't legally apply as a means not to investigate. And now we don't, we stand by the predecessor's corrupt opinion. And because they wrote to me and said, because this gay man quit 4 months ago, he already investigated a records request that was refused this week after quitting the job. They basically got problems with their logic and timeline. In other words, they're making invalid excuses for a cover-up. Every single agency in Arizona is totally corrupt. Now, the other thing, we're going to look at the attachments I sent on these are what's this one? This is the sentencing, okay? On top of doing the drug dealing and the child sex, he's speeding in his car, and he's got kids in the back, and he's drunk, and he gets pulled over by the police, and with speeding down the road drunk with kids in the car, and his penalty, wait for it, is no jail. Okay. Yeah, so here we have Adam Smith. This is the day when they did a surprise Rule 11 on Francis Mendoza Keel, who is the enemy who survived an attempted murder on order of this pedophile. The search for Keel. There you go. See here on this date, this case, they did that. And the next day, you've got Adam Smith's case, where Christopher Linsky was cross-examined. He said, anyone who doesn't take the plea deal of time served for attempted murder and wants to exercise their constitutional rights, that is a sign of mental illness, believing in the Constitution, you must be needle raped. You must take the deal or be needle raped, says Dr. Christopher Linsky. Deborah Pardee, who also made a psychological assessment that Adam must be force medicated. These are the two same psychiatrists that previously found Adam sane before he was a police corruption whistleblower and spent 2 years in jail in solitary confinement for no reason. Whilst the mass murderer, Adam Christopher Searle, is running around as a level 3 risk factor. These guys, if you're a threat to the risk factor, is not about threat to community or other inmates. It's about threat to Jews. So Adam, Francis Keel Mendoza, William Henry Redding, Sotomayor, and all the others in the Flagstaff who denied a trial by jury under this corrupt system of Arizona Criminal Procedure Rule 11. They've all previously been found sane. They're all been denied body cams. That they're all cases of police corruption, and they'll never have the right to clear their name in a court of law. They will be forcibly medically raped. And the Stop the Shots group on Telegram says, how dare you try and stop the forced shots against COVID, against anti-vaxxers. If Luke McKee tried to stop the shots against anti-vaxxer Adam Smith and other and is exposing that people are saying, if you are against what happened in hospital, or if you believe that reverse transcriptase or reverse transcription can happen from RNA to DNA, as high school biology textbooks say, then if you believe your high school biology textbooks, you are delusional and you must be force medicated. This is they're running secret chamber tribunals in the Coconino County. So here is the county minutes. I've got the file open since it's not, you need a VPN to get it. And let's see who they're writing checks to, okay? They're Kinney Construction. And look, Howard Leventhal is getting a check as a convicted pedophile scammer not allowed to do business in many American states due to fraud. So they won't tell me what the check's for. They've blocked the records request. So there's yeah, what else we got here? There's a pedo conviction. And then we've all seen this. So yeah, this is it. This is America, where if you're against state-sponsored child rape, you don't have a right to trial. Now, other thing I want to add is there's a former NYPD police officer that I know. His name I can't say, but I'll give you a hint. He's on my 153 news channel, okay? If you go back to it on my profile. And they came for him because and they couldn't get him. They went searching for his former National Socialist Workers' Party of Germany memorabilia that he used to collect, which isn't a crime. They couldn't find it, and they did a sting operation against his son. And they had a police officer allegedly pretending to be a 17-year-old and did this whole operation to kidnap him and take him to a corrupt county in Tennessee with all the same stuff that's happening in Arizona. And every single time it's Jewish prosecutors running vendettas against people against their interests. If you're an anti-Zionist, expect to be needle raped. This is the new America. And who mentored Obama? That would be Bill Ayers. That would be the Weatherman Underground. Have you seen clips about what the Weatherman Underground plan to do if they ever got into power? Kill those who can't be re-educated. This is a Department of Justice, HHS, CISA joint operation to use the trolls on Twitter to identify people who know too much, use a network of informants, people who know too much truth, and then take people out of commission in society for knowing too much truth using this new post-COVID, post-constitution insanity, Rule 11 and equivalent systems. Jim Fetz, we're going to end the call now. How scared should Americans be that the Constitution has ended and they no longer have a right to a trial if a Jewish prosecutor is involved?
Very disturbing. Luke, you've covered a lot of territory here in this project.
Yeah. So I intend to give the address of all the government officials involved in the cover-up and the pedophiles to the bikies, to the Indians, to the Natsoks, to any stakeholder, so that I am not taken out of commission and there's no motive to try and do harm to me to contain the information. What do you think about Google telling me my account's going to be imminently deleted because I don't like child sex? Do you think it's right? Do you think they should take back their old motto, "Don't be evil"?
Luke, it's obvious.
Okay, the audio's dropped out my end, so I think we're going to end it now. Thank you so much for your time, Jim. I know you're working so hard. You're so tired. It's all over. It's kicking off now. It really is. We're going to see. I hope that this can be taken up by journalists and become the next Epstein story in America.
Much appreciated, Luke. If you stop your share,
Yeah.
let me just say, much appreciated, my friend. Much
Okay.
appreciated.